Good afternoon, Fin fans, and welcome back to another episode of AT Fins In this episode, we're going to be looking at the latest news coming out of the Miami Dolphins OTAs, as well as giving you guys kind of a heads up as what's on the docket for the Miami Dolphins after this week. So without further ado, let's just get right into it, shall we? So let me start off by this. This is the first thing I really want to get to. I know last week we were speaking positive about our team and about our offense and how this fan base is going to be so excited to watch this team play this year. And then I don't like how the narrative has changed so much, like just from one week to the other. I mean, I know last week when I reported how I liked the Tua having that swagger and how he was talking to the media after practice about how he looked up, he's all, look money to me, right? Like, I like that mentality from Tua because we've never seen that before. But let me be clear, whenever I reported that last week, I'm super happy with Tua's progression as far as throwing the deep ball, not being scared to throw the deep ball in practice. Now he's letting it sling even after last week, even in today's OTAs. I'm sure you guys have heard. Tua had a good day throwing the ball downfield, and that usually wasn't his go-to thing. Even him and Teddy Bridgewater today, they both did really well at extending the defense and throwing vertical, and that's always good to see. But even last week, getting back to that point, there was rumblings about how this offense was not playing up to their should be their standards, even in OTAs. But I wasn't going to get on the channel and just start bash mouthing our team. That doesn't do anyone in our fan base any good. So yes, I heard that our defense was leaps and bounds ahead of our offense in OTAs last week. But I did report on Tua's perfect throw and how he answered the media after. The reason why I didn't really mention it, but now I am because it's out in the public, everyone knows obviously now, is because there's no reason to badmouth our offense right now. We know it's a new playbook. We know it's going to take guys probably the full OTAs and even the start of training camp to actually get into the flow of everything and firing on all cylinders. Even teams that have the playbook mastered, it takes them like 2 to 3 weeks to start firing on all cylinders, and that's during when the season begins. So for us to think as a fan base it was just going to click, even though Mike McDaniel is an offensive genius, they like to call him, even though if he is an offensive genius, it's still going to take this team time to get to know the playbook, to get to know, even our quarterback's going to have to learn how to throw to certain receivers. I mean, he has Tyreek Hill here that he's never thrown to. He has Cedric Wilson here that he's never thrown to now. He has Raheem Mostert coming out of the backfield he's never thrown to before, and he's a good he's a good catcher out of the backfield. So it's going to take time for everyone to develop and to get along, to build that camaraderie and chemistry. And that's why at the beginning of OTAs, I believe why Mike McDaniel, to the media, he always would talk about bringing the team together. I think that was his first step in making this team a complete football team, by getting everyone to get along, to like each other, to hang out outside of practice, to grow that chemistry. That's why in my previous videos, that's what I leaned on heavily as far as what I liked about Mike McDaniel, because even when we had an offensive guy like Adam Gase, for example, it never felt like he was trying to unite the team, like it wasn't something like, he would never try to communicate with the defensive players or try to know them on a personal level so he can get the most out of the defensive players. He was just strictly focused on the offense, and he wouldn't even care what the defense did. And that's not the type of coach that Mike McDaniel is. Just seeing him in practice, communicating with the defense, getting to know his defensive players, and even his defensive players came out and said that they loved the Mike McDaniel approach. He first gets to know you on a personal level and then a professional level, and it seems like players are actually gravitating to that. So that's what I meant by, that's what I like to see as a new head coach, to come in and bring a team together, and that's what Mike McDaniel is doing. I do know the reason why all this is coming out because on the Joe Rose show, or the Joe Rose show, I'm sorry, they had Mike Westenhoff on, and I know you guys have heard the video. If you guys haven't, I will. If you guys haven't heard the video and do not know what I'm talking about, I will post the video link in the description below, so you guys can go back and see it if you don't know what I'm talking about. But if you guys don't know, Mike Westenhoff used to be a Dolphins special team and I believe tight ends coach for I think 8 years, maybe longer. And he was at the practice and I'm paraphrasing, of course. I'm not doing word for word, but he was on the show, and they were obviously asking him questions. How do you like Mike McDaniel? How's this offense looking? How's the quarterback looking? And Mike Westenhoff pretty much just completely, I wouldn't say threw the offense under the bus at Mike McDaniel, but he definitely didn't help deflect. He didn't help deflect the questions that the media were going to have after he came out on this podcast, because he said that it was pretty much an unacceptable performance from the offense, even for OTAs. He said that he's been around the NFL for 30 plus years. He's been in the Miami Dolphins organization. Then he was around like Vinny Testaverde and the Jets, and then he finished his career with the Saints and Drew Brees. So in his eyes, he said he's seen what it takes to be a great offense or a sustainable offense in the NFL, and what he's seen he didn't like, just because he didn't like the offense's approach to even lining up. He said even lining up was a challenge for them. They didn't get out of the huddle with any urgency, and the person that's pulling the buttons needs to be held accountable. And then he went on and also said that he definitely liked what he's seen out of the wide receivers. He definitely liked what he's seen out of the defense. He said the special teams is really good. The kicker, we have a really good kicker. So he pretty much singled out Mike McDaniel as the head coach and Tua Tagovailoa as quarterback. Those are the two people he pretty much singled out in the podcast. He said that he doesn't like how Mike McDaniel seems like he's not that he's lying to the media, but he's not being honest or a real person, because he said after that type of practice, or even halfway through that practice, he would have shut the whole practice down and restarted from the beginning. That's how bad the offense looked, he said. And he said that Mike McDaniel and the media, you wouldn't know that the offense was so bad based on how he said. He loves how the offense is progressing. He thinks they're going to be in mid-season form pretty soon. And Mike Westenhoff kind of contradicted everything Mike McDaniel was saying to the media. But my question is to you guys, what would you like Mike McDaniel to do? Would you like Mike McDaniel to get on the podium after practice and say, we're going to have to blow this whole thing up and start from scratch because no one's getting it? Like, Mike McDaniel is the type of coach that will never throw any one of his players under the bus, guys. He's never going to say, this guy had a horrible practice, he needs to do better, because he doesn't want to kill anyone on his team's confidence. I think that's what I get out of that. It's not that he's being fake. I'm sure he's having communications with these guys privately, and not in a disrespectful way at all. Not like, I wouldn't say disrespectful, not in like a in-your-face kind of way, privately, like a Brian Flores. I think Brian Flores to the media would say one thing, and he would handle players privately, but I think where Mike McDaniel and Flores differ is Mike McDaniel will sit there and talk to, like, Tua privately in a kind of a positive way, but constructive criticism-wise, but doing it kind of on the lighter side. Flores is the type of guy, he'll just get in your face and tell you how like it is. And I don't think a lot of the younger generation, that's not the approach they want anymore. They want to be kind of coddled and told what to do constructively, but not a kind of like in your face, you need to get this done or else kind of approach. They need to be spoken to with intelligence and showing that you respect them, but you need them to change to get the job done kind of thing. And I think that's why Tua's gravitating to Mike McDaniel so much just because of the way he comes at telling Tua how he needs to improve on certain things. So with the whole Mike Westenhoff thing, I'm not going to discredit it. He might have not liked seeing how the offense was getting out of the huddle, and I agree to that to a certain extent. As far as you want to have tempo out of the huddle, the reason being is the faster they get out of the huddle is the faster the quarterback's going to see if everyone's lined up properly, can read the defense before the play clock runs out. He can call a different play if he has the authority to do so. If he doesn't think that play is going to work, and he can go to a running play. They have more time to decipher that if they're on the line with tempo, so the quarterback can read the defense, read the field. So I understand where Westenhoff's coming with that. He has seen what offenses need to look like to be a Super Bowl caliber team, in the sense with the Saints. He was I think the last year he coached, they were almost in the Super Bowl. I think they lost in the NFC Championship or divisional game. So he knows what it takes to get there or almost get there. So, and he just didn't like what he's seen out of the offense, but he liked what he's seen out of every other aspect of our team. So, I mean, he wasn't. It's not like this team's going to just fall on their face once the regular season starts. I believe, of course, the defense is going to be leaps and bounds ahead of our offense. Our offense, we have a lot of new players on offense that we brought in. We have a whole new playbook players are learning. Our quarterback's learning the playbook as he goes. He's not going to have full command of the offense until he gets more involved in it and gets more play as far as with pads on. I know right now in shirts and shorts, the offense should be at a better or higher level because the defense really can't touch the offense. They can't hit the quarterback. But when an offense doesn't really know the system, like most teams do coming into OTAs, it is going to be a struggle, especially with our defense. I know we haven't had our heavy hitters playing in OTAs with Xavier Howard and Byron Jones on the edges not playing because of injuries and just trying to get healthy for training camp. But still, all of our defense is still intact. We don't really have any new guys coming in besides Melvin Ingram is one of them. Everyone else is really back. I mean, they already know the defense. They're going to be running a similar philosophy that they had the last couple years, 2 years ago. So they all know everything in and out. Even our backups knew that because they were on this team as well. So I'm not going to hit the panic button, guys. Our fan base shouldn't hit the panic button with the negative reports coming out of OTAs. The thing I will say is if it starts like the second, third week of training camp when they come back, they come back in a month to start training camp pretty much. And if in the third week of training camp, right before preseason starts, we're still hearing the negative reports from our offense, then we might have reason to be concerned, going into preseason. But right now in OTAs, we have nothing to worry about, guys. I just came out and made this video pretty much to give you guys my thought about the whole Joe Rose show with Mike Westenhoff. I mean, people are up in arms. I've been looking at some channels the last few days just to see what their reaction is. Some I believe are too like, oh, it's a bunch of BS, and then some are kind of too harsh on the matter. I'm just more even keel, guys. I'm going to tell you how it is. I'm going to report the news and give you my thoughts on it. I don't think it's a huge deal. I think I would like the offense to have more tempo coming out of a huddle, of course, just so you're practicing good habits. That's something that doesn't take knowing the playbook. It's just kind of like a hustle thing, Get to the line, let the quarterback read it before the play clock goes out. Because even in practice, they have a play clock. I don't care if it's OTAs, training camp. If you guys ever been, they always have a play clock because they try to simulate as much like a game. So I think the only thing I would have concern on, but what Mike Westenhoff said, is the whole getting out of the huddle thing. They have to get out of the huddle with tempo just to make the quarterback his job that much easier, even though obviously the quarterback position is the hardest position to have in the league. But you're giving him a fighting chance getting out of that huddle so he can read the defense a little longer. He can put people in the right places if they're lined up incorrectly so they don't have to burn a timeout or get a play clock. I mean, it's just simple things like that. So I hope that the offense can pick that up in that sense. But they're going to get better each and every day. And even Mike McDaniel alluded to it today in his media, because today is the last day of media availability. So he did meet with the media and he talked about the comments that Mike Westenhoff said, and he put it kind of perfectly. Like our defense has been together for, this is the third year. I mean, they're doing calculus and our offense is doing algebra at this point because it's such a new thing to this offense, right? So that's how you see the contrast in plays. The offense had a few good throws throughout OTAs that we've talked about, but obviously the defense dominated. Our offensive line needs to get better, but Mike McDaniel even said he likes how the progress is going. He's not asking for perfection right away, but he sees it as if they keep improving, because they have 2 more days of OTAs before they disband for 30 days and they come back for training camp. He's saying as long as they keep progressing the last 2 practices, they get guys healthy, and especially guys that have like tissue injuries that can re-aggravate them, take the full month off, just nurse those injuries, get them back healthy, and then training camp comes and they keep progressing practice by practice. They will be ready for September 11th against the Patriots. And honestly, guys, that's all we can ask for. We need this team to progress day by day on offense and defense, but primarily the offensive side of the ball. So once the season starts, there's not going to be any hiccups. They're going to know the playbook. They're going to know where they're supposed to be lined up, and they're going to be able to execute the play. And that's what Mike McDaniel's vision is just keep progressing day by day. We know the defense is going to probably be a top 7 defense in this league. If we can start moving the ball during training camp once we know the playbook against our defense, and then go work our way to our joint practices, and we see us dominating other teams' defenses, it's going to build confidence for the regular season once we open against the Patriots that we know we can put up points against them. So like I said, guys, there's no reason to panic. I'm just reporting the news coming out of the Miami Dolphins OTAs. I'm giving you guys, just breathe, relax. We're going to be okay. This team is too talented, and there's no excuses now. They're going to go out. In my eyes and my full belief, it doesn't matter what's coming out right now in OTAs when they're in shirts and shorts, good or bad. I'm just reporting what I'm hearing. Last week I reported how I liked Tua's swag. I liked how Mike McDaniel is with bringing the team together. I like how Tua seems confident by being able to talk to the media like he hasn't before in the past. This week, I'm just telling you the negative reports coming out of Miami Dolphins camp, but I don't see them as negatives. I see them as they're going to get better on offense, guys. Just relax. They're going to learn the playbook. They're going to have guys start speaking the same language, if you know what I mean, as far as knowing. I mean, because they've came from different teams, so their language is all different. So they're just getting their language all together. And by training camp, they're going to start gelling, and we're going to see there's going to be days the defense wins the day, and we're going to hear from our beat reporters and media that the offense blew the defense out of the water. I mean, that's a give and take. Our team's so good, and iron sharpens iron, guys. So don't worry about it. We're going to be okay. Like I said, also, I was just going to give you like kind of a schedule what's going on for the Dolphins. So today was the last day of OTAs for the media to be present. Their media won't be able to be present until in about a month when training camp starts. They'll be able to come back to the facility. Tomorrow, the Miami Dolphins are off, and then they have Thursday, Friday left in OTAs, and then they're gone for a month. So it's going to be a real quiet time. We're still going to make some videos, guys. We're going to do maybe like some rankings or some. We'll figure something out to do. Maybe you guys can leave something in the comments that you want me to cover, and we can break a video down. And like I said, also, eventually we're going to end up doing like live videos, so we can do panels. Maybe get some guys on here and give us your opinion on the matter, so you're just not hearing my opinion all the time, you know. But yeah, it's gonna be quiet for a month after this week, so we'll definitely have maybe a panel, or we'll have a couple panel shows, just so we can get some videos out there, get you guys talking and excited about training camp opening, and then obviously preseason, joint practices first, then preseason, and then it's go time, guys. It's September 11th against the New England Patriots. It's in my eyes, even though it's week one, it's probably a must win, especially with the schedule. So I'm just excited. I can't wait. It'll be good to have these guys off for a month to reset, and then it's time to go full throttle in about 30 days. But other than that, guys, I just wanted to come and make a video and just let you guys know, do not panic. It's relax. Let them learn the playbook or learn the offense. Get that tempo up on offense, and they're going to be okay, guys. There's nothing to worry about. Like I said, it won't be anything to worry about until third week of training camp, and we're still hearing this, right? So they're going to figure it out. Mike McDaniel is too good offensively to have his offense just be a laughingstock in the league, guys. But other than that, I'll be back. If something happens significantly, I'll be back Friday. If not, I'll probably do a video either Saturday or Monday. And then we'll go over when we're going to do a live panel, or if you guys comment on something you guys want me to cover, I'll definitely make a video covering whatever you guys want. But other than that, guys, I appreciate each and every one of y'all. Thanks for the support. I truly, truly appreciate it. If you're new to the channel, if you can hit that subscribe button so we can help grow this channel organically. But if you guys can please smash that like button, I truly appreciate it. Other than that, guys, fins up. I love each and every one of y'all. I am out. Peace.